instant,
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 instant.
Immediately.
Excuse me?
I go through with this. Jason comes home that instant. Instant. Instant.
Panda, stop this instant! Stop this instant! Stop this instant! We're wasting time!
No! Unhand me this instant! Instant! Instant!
CBS Instant Poll says undecided to give the debate to Biden 46%, Palin 21.
Fuck CBS and fuck their instant poll.
Your Grace.
To think that I doubted your loveliness for an instant.
But I do not believe. Not at all. Not for an instant.
We don't want anything from him. We could fire first, once we're in range.
The instant we fire, we give up our exact position.
That's right. Fitz, as understatements go, I think that qualifies as an instant classic.
That's what I love.
We see his face.
Is what true love gone in an instant?
Your son.
You know, I could have just poofed us up here in an instant.
Nicely done. I don't think they suspected you for an instant.
Nope. We're trapped in the past. I should have left Storybrooke the instant we defeated Zelina. This is exactly the kind of thing that does not happen in New York.
I thought the results were instant.
Let's see, you're being screened for lung cancer? I'm sure someone will let you know by tomorrow.
To some folks who are on the fence, round up a couple dozen commitments before you announce. That would make you an instant contender.
aspect,
aspect, aspect, aspect,
Aspect.
What if we're too close to the symbolism of the ring itself? On some victims, he's used other items. And then the whole sexual aspect. What if the symbolic act isn't about sex, but about where he places it?
Sometimes the thing you thought was the most brutal aspect of the virus turns out to be the chink in its armor.
Okay, that's it. We've visited all the necessary memories together through every aspect of your involvement in Anna's case.
You think you're doing the right thing, Tom. The one great aspect of this justice system is that there is a market for all kinds of cases.
Sometimes the thing you thought was the most brutal aspect of the virus turns out to be the chink in its armor.
That's a forgery? The seal, the signature, the security strip. See, most forgers are only experts at one aspect. The man who forged this bond is capable of bigger things. He can do it all.
Like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes.
You can't stay with me. I have a teeny tiny apartment. Excuse me, but isn't hosting guests an aspect of Manusya Yajna? Something about Penny. She's interfering with my sleep. She's interfering with my work. And if I had another significant aspect of my life, I'm sure she'd be interfering with that too.
What the hell are you guys playing? It's a game we invented. It's called Counterfactuals.
We postulate an alternate world that differs from ours in one key aspect, and then pose questions to each other.
I really feel like there's a spousal privilege aspect of the case that's been overlooked.
retail,
retail, retail,
Retail.
retail,
Restaurants, theaters, retail stores, and similar establishments. This seems to me to be an elementary right.
I own a company that owns a lot of other companies.
What kind of companies?
Retail, mostly.
No, I'm just asking. I mean, I used to work retail, so I know that happens sometimes.
Give me a call.
We're not in a position to be charging retail.
Don't worry, she'll come in at 2.5.
Better trading.
Dad's joking. New corporate clients and a depressed retail market.
Sure. Get out while you can. Just don't go into retail.
Michigan, 2005. Shoppers burst through the doors of a major retail chain, causing multiple injuries.
It's good to know.
She moved to Orlando in 2005. Looks like she bounced around a few retail jobs.
How many times do I have to say it? Callista Raines is not putting her designs in some low-end retail store.
Got caught stealing together, got fired together. They go way back.
Never should have let that boy work retail.
I want to open a store, a totally above-board and legit retail establishment.
What exactly would this totally above-board and legit retail establishment sell?
I don't know, 80,000, yeah. 90 if I redo the floors. I have a great retail space in Pampa.
Opposition.
Opposition. Opposition. Opposition.
Opposition.
Step 1. Disarm the opposition. Disarm the opposition. Disarm the opposition.
Hard times mean desperate people.
Scar and his gang have now crossed over the ridge. They would not usually get this deep into Freddy's land without opposition, without opposition, without opposition.
This is not going to be easy getting there. I have some real opposition and opposition and opposition, and what they're saying about me is that I'm too young to hold this office.
No, nothing of the sort. A minuscule minority of opposition to our plans.
But with our commitment, we give birth each day to a new energy that is stronger than our strongest opposition.
You've all been asked here today because you represent the most strident opposition to dead clade walking.
We invested in some oppositional research.
The finalizing of the articles, opposition from the men, on two particular issues.
Listen to her. She's been an absolute ruler there for long enough. It's time for some loyal opposition.
Is there anyone present who would like to speak either on behalf of or in opposition to Nancy Annalyn Casey's request for parole?
Bill, it's in front of Congress right now. You know it's taken some significant opposition.
Somerville, we're counting on them to sway the middle.
Who's the opposition?
Senators Blake and Killoran have openly vocalized their opposition to you as VP.
Any indication as to why?
Disposal. Disposal. Disposal.
Disposal. Disposal.
$3.5 million.
To walk away?
To fly away. My jet is at your disposal. Is at your disposal. Is at your disposal.
We got to lead with a pro-style offense, something Billy won't see coming. We have to use everything we have at our disposal. Disposal. Disposal.
Stop it.
Microwave on. Garbage disposal, garbage disposal, garbage disposal on.
No, you didn't have to take it.
It is all Alexander's fault. If he had dropped Trevor's pass seat out the disposal, I never would have rehearsed at a cold car and gotten sick.
You shall have the entire resources of the Catholic Church at your disposal, its coffers, devisings, even the ships of the Papal Armada to ferry you.
I suppose even King Arthur won a battle or two with witchcraft.
Arthur had a magician at his disposal.
Huh. And you are?
Starling City needs to use the means at a city's disposal.
Reality is, I don't have a fleet of helicarriers or Quinjets or thousands of agents at my disposal anymore.
With all of modern science and millions of dollars at your disposal, these are your results.
Sublet's at your disposal. Find us a backdoor, Tremors.
It's 18 months.
Okay, so Barkov kills Russo once Russo gets onto him, but body disposal isn't exactly in his wheelhouse.
Weapons, muscle, safe house, body disposal. Man's got the island wired.
This field office is at your disposal.
Manufacture.
Manufacture.
Manufacture. Manufacture.
Manufacture.
Everyone in government accountable to the law. But we must not manufacture our interpretation of the law.
Everything. Once I have depleted the cell cultures on hand, we won't be able to manufacture the vaccine on the ship. Manufacture the vaccine on the ship. Manufacture the vaccine on the ship.
7.62 lead ore. It's Russian, but manufactured in Bulgaria. Manufactured in Bulgaria. Manufactured in Bulgaria.
I love it that all these manufacturers are competing against each other to make great cameras. Make them smaller, make them faster, cheaper, better sensors.
And as you can see,
It's much smaller and cheaper to manufacture and build, which by using dynamic RAM, I was able...
She looks practically new. That's good.
Oh, here. Manufactured 11/30/37.
Stopping the manufacture and sale of methamphetamines remains one of our highest priorities.
I'm a manufacturer. I'm not a dealer.
Convinced that Mr. Pinkman was involved in the manufacture and distribution of phenyl-2-methamphetamine, specifically what we're calling the blue meth.
Tell us about it. I can tell you this, it's not commercially manufactured.
Well, how did Anarchy Boy get it then?
But wouldn't the amount he'd need to manufacture enough for circulation be huge?
See it won't react.
No. There is no way to get their bodies to manufacture the modified decoy on their own.
Yes, there is.
Guy, I knew you were exceptionally fast, so any trap we manufactured would have to be invisible. I knew you.
His daughter died in a car accident on the H-93 when her car seat malfunctioned, and that car seat was manufactured by the Porters.
Mixture.
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 Mixture. Mixture.
Are we a team? No. We're a chemical mixture that makes chaos. Chemical mixture that makes chaos. Chemical mixture that makes chaos. We're a time bomb. You need to step away.
My father believed that success is a mixture of preparation and luck. Tapping the
Wearing a SpongeBob SquarePants dressing gown, eating a mixture of animal fat and sugar made to look like a fried egg.
We've got engine mixture ratio, errors in inches 2 and 3.
That's not odd in itself. That mixture has been around since before the time of Christ.
But I didn't realize how big camels are. It's like a cow and a giraffe mixture. They're beautiful.
Or is it, natural, or is it a mixture of the two? Because that's often the way these days helps with them.
But that fluid draining from his mouth is a mixture of necrotic tissue and blood.
How you doing?
Oh, pleasant mixture of sadness, anger, resentment, and bitterness. We need to inject the mixture into his spine.
Me.
How?
Mixture of salination with some high pH compounds.
Discern. Discern.
Discern. Discern.
Discern.
Getting ready for your close-up, Castle?
No, just trying to discern the hidden meaning.
These kids that were taken, were they doing anything that could be described or discerned as naughty?
Due to our close proximity in both age and location, and for no other reason I could ever discern.
Oh, is that what you're doing? Look, anyone can take a bundle of information, toss it up on a website and call it news. And people buy our papers for something a little more discerning.
A warning, sir. The man has a reputation for taking many commissions, but finishing few.
Okay, I'm going to need access to your client file, see if I can discern if there's a link between him and one of them.
That you and I were able to discern? No. And did I mention what discerning tastes they have here at Kamakidia?
Curious, more discerning crowd.
Indeed, it's Mr. Smith. He's quite a discerning collector.
Can you discern anything?
Tell them to warn the others. Though their true nature can be discerned, they must not attempt to flee or they'll be gunned down.
This will preserve him until we discern if we can help him.
Contribute.
Contribute. Contribute.
Contribute. Contribute.
Until then, you either contribute, or you keep it shut, Travis. Now, here's what we're going to do.
You know how much she has to contribute. When I left for London, she thrived here.
It's out of my hands.
And this time, all of the boys are going to have to contribute to maximize our odds. No matter how much one of them doesn't like it.
50 in a while. Hanson? The winter collection? Do you have anything to contribute?
No.
Can rebuild houses, bridges, dams.
What does a soldier contribute except ways to kill people?
long-term effects.
What we're trying to do is prevent endothelial growth, which, when overexpressed, can contribute to disease, decay.
To gain pay raise, stock options. Company even contributes to your retirement plan now.
So I've given them years of my life.
Because I distinctly remember you saying that you had absolutely nothing to contribute to the medium.
That was months ago.
He doesn't contribute to charities or fund scholarships because he's a good person. He does it because he likes the attention that he gets.
Governments were pressuring their biologists to deliberately withhold vital information, research that could possibly contribute to a vaccine.
Altogether. Well, on my spare time, I contribute to an online community devoted to unsolved homicides.
Bounty hunters work freelance, not exclusive to one bail bondsman.
Well, Max, you got something to contribute here? Or?
Insisted that Billy was lettered so that he could understand the cause and contribute.
Application.
Application.
Application. Application. Application.
Your Honor, I have a copy of Simran's application for a driver's license from the DMV. On the application, she checked the voter registration box, thus making a false claim of citizenship a federal offense.
Your Honor, these forms are confusing and often filled out by rote.
The application clearly states that making a false claim is a serious federal offense.
We had 26,241 applications last year. 1,308 of those applicants are attending school here.
Guys, 12:10.
What? No more applications! No more SATs!
End of application.
Look, I was completely honest on my application, but if there's anything else...
No.
Because I canceled it.
You mean you deleted the application? Okay, I'll reinstall it. Thanks, Dad.
No, you won't.
You have a very impressive application.
Item 469. I'll help you, sir. This document is an application to the EMEA.
You need, do you remember how many?
3.
Right, for an application. And yet, look here.
The application fee for a marijuana dispensary increases from $2,000 to $5,000. That's good.
It's a good claim, Mrs. Flork. Actually, it's an excellent claim, but unfortunately, I can't consider a visa application.
Your Honor.
Sounds like a plan.
Mom, I'm serious. I sent in the application.
Stevie, can we not do this now, please?
We flagged her name on this. It's an application for the Manhattan Millionaire Society Bachelor's Auction.
Curve.
Curve. Curve.
Curve. Curve.
Anyone? Anyone seen this before? The Laffer curve. Anyone know what this says? It says that at this point on the revenue curve, you will get exactly the same amount of revenue.
Yep. Combined with Steve Carlton and Randy Johnson, that's not even his best pitch. Show him the curve! Show him the curve! Show him the curve!
It was my fault. Tried to pass a car on a curve, didn't see the oncoming truck.
What do you think?
I just got off the phone with Atlanta. We're not going to take him because he can't hit a curve.
The last homer he hit was off a curve.
Judging by his writings, you're exactly his type. You're bespectacled, you're lean, and yet possessed of an alluring curve of flank.
Juliet, learning curve. Works for me. There's a learning curve to being a grim, remember?
Well, most learning curves don't draw blood.
Maybe.
And what happens when this doesn't hold? And they push on through. The curve in this hillside is going to send them right back east, right back here.
Put arrows into criminals. So when it comes to complexity, I grade on a curve.
Issues that were in play.
Yeah, like every Hydra agent receiving an email blowing my cover.
Yeah, that was a curveball.
Collected from the restaurant. My autopsy shows that the stab wounds were inflicted by a uniquely curved blade. Alignment of their fantasy, a quest for perfection, as Ted Bundy refers to it, is the learning curve.
I know every inch and curve.
Relate.
Relate. Relate.
Relate. Relate.
The pressure of living your life under a microscope? I mean, I can relate. I can relate. I can relate.
To get school credit, I'm more like a court-ordered slave. Oh, I can relate. I can relate. I can relate.
Anastasia is on a 1-year pro bono sabbatical from her law firm.
And apparently from...
You can't expect Sherlock Holmes to relate to you the way others might.
So how does that relate to anything?
I'm getting to that.
I like it when they do stuff I can relate to.
Like pull their pants down.
I love that.
Nothing Chuck E. Cheese.
This needs to be like something that people will relate to, you know? Like...
I can relate to that. You know, if you want something...
The only one he can ever truly relate to.
I know that over the years you've suffered your own travails and you can relate to a profound sense of guilt. You cannot relate to a profound sense of shame. In the same way that many drug users only relate to one another because they use drugs, the thing that Alfredo and I did together was not use them, so...
A man that England can relate to and offer its forgiveness.
Try to let the captors see you as human, as someone they can relate to.
Here are all our symbols. They didn't seem to relate to each other until you add this one.
Depart.
Depart.
Depart. Depart.
Depart.
Good husband. Children arrive. Years depart. Years depart. Years depart.
You mean permanently when we leave? Like when we're dead, we'll be dead?
When we leave, we depart, depart, depart this planet.
Making our quest.
It's good then. We shall await your return. But as you depart, know that we of the HLA resistance will always, forever be in your debt.
Now, if you'll all excuse me, it's time for the help to depart.
At the end of the winter, the mackerel depart from hibernation in the depths of the ocean.
Not all of them made it to the range.
Dig it. Don't depart from it.
Assist the Andromache to depart unmolested.
If there is no signal before the reinforcements for the Night's Watch depart the beach, I'll assume failure and begin our escape down the coast.
We'll depart as soon as the longboat can be made ready.
We depart for the twins in the morning. We need an answer before we leave, and a wedding not more than a fortnight thereafter, or this alliance is at an end.
In 3 days' time, he'll depart for Castle Black and live out his days at the wall.
Okay, this thing departed from Manila. 9th of January 2011. They had 20,000 pounds of fuel.
That's me and my dear departed Jane at our cottage.
You're scheduled to depart in 20 minutes, sir.
Thank you. You just check in with the First Lady to make sure she's ready.
Yes, sir.
Medium.
Medium. Medium.
Medium.
Medium.
I think soft might be more for baby teeth. I prefer to use just like a medium.
Yep.
A medium.
Yep.
A medium.
Yep. Medium height, medium height, medium height, light hair, a bit pale.
Yes.
They're supposed to be the studies for the Fighting Temeraire, but they have a medium orange, a medium orange, a medium orange, and ochre in them.
We got two sizes, medium and large, all right? All you gotta do is put the mediums with the mediums and the large with the large, all right?
But that's bullshit. It is the right size for her because she's petite, but she's very heavy on top, so I got a medium.
Is that an accident, or is it because I always hear you complain that a small fits too small and a medium fits too big, so I found the only hoodie that comes in a small and a half?
I was here. Guy definitely wasn't shopping for himself. He was a medium at most.
I'm going to advance. You have my full support. Anyway, I could always use friends in medium places.
Describe her.
Describe her, learner, now! Okay, tall, medium length hair.
It's in his place.
Did we get a description?
Only the one you gave us. 6 feet, medium build, brown hair.
Truffle fries.
Steak, medium rare, and another ice cold beer.
Mm-hmm.
2 cones, 2 T-shirts to go. Medium. XL and up, bruh.
Oh, no, I charged the wrong thing. What did you have again?
Medium decaf latte. Red lot. Deck.
Gigantic. 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 Gigantic.
Gigantic.
Polar bears are great swimmers, even though they only use their gigantic front paws. Gigantic front paws. Gigantic front paws.
We possess a gigantic network of information to which we have almost no access.
In their gigantic holds, in their gigantic holds, in their gigantic holds, these ships are carrying a part of the biogeological history of the ocean.
Build Atlantic City? Are you fucking kidding me? That's gigantic, all right?
Life is this big, fat, gigantic, stinking mess. That's the beauty of it, too.
These winds, curved by the rotation of the Earth, form gigantic whirlpools.
From arm's length for your entire life, and there's a reason for that. You don't just put one promo, one trailer on your resume and expect to get a gigantic job like that.
I will give you this. You've got some gigantic balls.
The man is a gigantic ass.
Living in Florence.
Oh, good. So this is all just an incredibly gigantic waste of time.
Ridiculous, okay? He's a control freak. He's a gigantic control freak. It has nothing to do with motion. Trust me, please.
Well, if we don't die, which is a gigantic if, I'm gonna be microwaving eggs with my finger, okay?
Sample.
Sample.
Sample. Sample. Sample.
What was wrong with that? The sample would be too diluted.
Track we've chosen.
Our sample size has just honestly been too small this far.
Too early.
When Beverly refused to give her blood sample, he's starting to become suspicious.
I want to see samples this afternoon. Somehow, we managed to design a word processor that doesn't have thoughts.
Free sample.
Yes, come out and join me, please. I'm just comparing fabric samples. Tell me, which one do you prefer? The cream, the eggshell, the ecru, or the bone?
Test. It's the first test I've taken in years that doesn't require a urine sample.
No, I took the sample before that. They're bleeding, my friends.
An imprint of the word Novocaine. Useful handwriting sample, but the message itself rather opaque.
It's fingerprinted for a security clearance, but he doesn't have a DNA sample on file.
When I feed him, he'd rather zap for his breakfast.
It's only a small sample, but there is mounting evidence that he wishes you harm.
Her DNA was a perfect match for the sample taken from Mina's toothbrush in 2004.
We have to get him back now. Nick, get a sample.
Calculate. Calculate.
Calculate.
Calculate.
Calculate.
Okay, this man will kill.
Mr. Vandenberg, how much do you calculate Mr. Sin is worth?
Into the tea and letting it soak in there and trying to calculate the exact moment before the biscuit dissolves when you can whip it up into your mouth.
You're active as him.
What do you mean?
He's not the only one with a formula to calculate a decedent's worth.
See, those weighted ribbons allow me to calculate the strength and direction of the wind. In this case, I would say it's about 20 knots.
We're gonna die.
We're almost there.
It'll be nice soon. You didn't calculate we'd be losing buckets of air before.
Recognizes the formula. He says it's used in civil law to calculate victim compensation.
This whole time.
I've seen this app before. They use GPS to calculate a jogger's distance and pace, and most importantly, their route.
Scale. Looks like a ship. Calculate a course to intercept.
No freighter. That is the destroyer, mate. Calculate range and intercept.
Calculate range, aye.
Armed torpedoes.
Army torpedoes, aye.
The sub appears to be holding still at radio depth.
They're not moving, sir.
Mason, can you calculate a range?
Yes, sir. This broadcast has a different point of origin on land.
If they'd just given us a little bit more time to calculate the objects.
Refractive index, yeah. That's the problem these days.
Confuse.
Confuse.
Confuse. Confuse.
Confuse.
Correct. I'm not easily confused. Be confused. Be confused.
I'm confused. Confused. What exactly is she planning to do here?
Well, I'd like to state for the record that I am confused. That I am confused. That I am confused. Now I'm a little confused.
Look, sorry. There's really nothing I can do.
Please don't confuse my passion for females with baseness. And Paulo, don't ever confuse me for a gangster.
But your main expression...
You will no doubt see things that will confuse or even upset you.
Which was by showing that it could fool their original software. Even it would confuse one twin for the other.
Going to the pool, having a blast. I mean, I'm confused. Aren't you upset? Aren't you sad?
Embarrassed. And ashamed. I was confused.
Confused about what?
About everything.
Don't confuse that with the burden the commander-in-chief faces.
Crash.
Crash. Crash.
Crash.
Crash.
Master Yao! You crash! Crash! Crash!
That's it. You guys need a kung fu crash course. Crash course. Crash course.
That's broken. It got busted during the crash.
Hi, Slater. Wendy Saperstein is having her bat mitzvah tonight, and she said it was okay if some boys wanted to crash it.
We didn't know how broken he was. The crash hurt him worse than we thought.
It's weird, you know? You think you're gonna crash your car? Or go out in a blaze of glory with some big bad guy?
So, Ranger Jer, since you're the new man of the house, think you could let me crash here for a couple nights?
Listen, I took a pretty hard shot to the sack with that crash.
You been following this airplane crash? You know, it was Jane's dad who accidentally crashed them together.
I can't breathe. He needs oxygen. Get the crash cart!
Check this out. I think this is gonna be a crash kit. What's that? Crash kit. It's like a stash box, right?
2 years ago, we crash tested a new car seat. That's when I discovered a defect in my design.
So the CIA felt they had no choice but to step in, keep the drugs flowing to prevent a potential market crash.
No. I want to stay sober tonight just in case the Snow Queen decides to crash our date.
Do not do that, please. Resume the exercise, no matter what is said. Resume the exercise, no matter what is said. Resume the exercise, no matter what is said.
Philip and I were able to resume our search.
But when the curse ends, our quest will resume. Will resume. Will resume.
Realize if there's one thing I want more than my revenge, it's my life. So shall we stop this thing now and then resume bickering? And then resume bickering? And then resume bickering?
So I'd like to resume my duties, Chief.
Over.
Negative DC-52, disregard 1078, and resume patrol.
It was just supposed to be a place for photos and her resume, and her resume, and her resume.
Well, these are some pretty impressive resumes.
They should be. They're 40 of the best.
We'll find new jobs, right?
We weren't laid off, Charles. We were fired. How are you going to explain that on your resume?
You know, most people never get to the bottom of a resume where you list other skills. See what's out there. You're still young. You got a tight resume and a rockin' body of work.
Happy to.
Although, to be totally upfront, if this is about the resume I mailed into Star Labs, I've already accepted a position at Mercury Labs.
You don't even know me.
I know your resume. Annapolis, 5 years naval intelligence, 6 years with the SEALs. You're
Bank. Isn't that creepy, dead expression in his eyes?
Yeah, he's got the perfect serial killer resume.
Restraint.
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 Not in any way?
Never.
I congratulate you upon your restraint. Restraint. Restraint.
Abstinence and restraint. 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 Make one fit for immortality.
Please, Your Grace, you must kill him.
It would send a message.
I think you should exercise restraint. Restraint. Restraint, Your Grace.
Why?
The next time I see you, I won't show the same restraint.
He shot you.
And I'm still here, ain't I? Just next time, show a little restraint.
That was me showing restraint.
Detective, we have another problem.
You came to me now before this boy is put to the knife because you knew I'd counseled restraint.
I am extremely eager to determine your full range of abilities. I do caution restraint. Capable of. Not to sound like a broken record, Mr. Allen, I do caution restraint.
Dr. Wells, I doubt restraint is how you got to be the man you are today.
In a wheelchair and a pariah, lack of restraint is what made me these things.
Her? Show some respect. Or at least some restraint at the buffet.
You'll have to excuse little John.
Killed the colonel, he chose not to.
I'm just saying, Mags, we can't count on your boyfriend's restraint from here on in.
You don't have to count on anything, Pope.
Look, I'm not really known for my self-restraint, so I'll need you to meet me halfway here and respect Bowden and your dad's wishes.
Proclaim.
Proclaim. Proclaim.
Proclaim.
Proclaim.
I proclaim to the world, I proclaim to the world, I proclaim to the world that they were right.
Now I'd like to get far enough away that I don't have to hear Robin and Zelina's wedding bells proclaim their love, proclaim their love, proclaim their love.
He would teach you everything he knew about statecraft, marry you to his daughter, and after Elizabeth's death, proclaim you! Proclaim you! Proclaim you! Heir.
I won't proclaim to know everything. I promise you.
I hereby proclaim this planet true mania of the Burbank Galaxy.
The new vision declares.
Proclaims. This is better.
Proclaims the death of morality.
Mr. Vincent McKenna for sainthood, and hereby proclaim him Saint Vincent of Sheepshead Bay.
Deal, don't you think? I mean, maybe somebody should be proclaiming this from a mountaintop.
Yeah, I tried to proclaim a lot of things. Look where it got me.
Now he asked me to back off Charles. To proclaim to the world that what happened to Max is acceptable.
Lord of the Seven Kingdoms and protector of the realm, do hereby proclaim my grandfather, Tywin Lannister, the savior of the city.
I mean the American government.
Which he proclaims to represent.
He does.
Sponsor.
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 Sponsor. Sponsor.
Mr. Fring was one of our sponsors. Sponsors.
This can mean the difference between life and death. And those things only come from sponsors. 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 And to get sponsors, you have to make people like you.
You're our mentor. You're supposed to go...
Mentor?
Yeah, our mentor. You're supposed to tell us how to get sponsors and give us advice.
Oh, okay.
Put it in the trash for the rest of my dreams. No contest, John? Lost a sponsor. Chapter 11.
I told you immunotropical blast benefits totally undocumented. Can I see?
This is Mrs. Larchmont, the chairwoman of the Acquisitions Committee and the proud sponsor of this exhibition.
Oof. Like the bread and circuses of your Medici sponsor. Now play your part. And perhaps you will be spared.
Jimmy Whelan, longtime purveyor of caloric yet delicious baked goods, sponsor of a local kids softball team.
ID'd her, and he said that she split the bill with another guy, her AA sponsor.
Dagmar Scholar.
We sponsor disadvantaged children, send them to the finest schools. Really? Another party at your stately manor?
No. I wanted to sponsor a Cash for Guns event. I give you the money, and you get your constituents to lay down their arms.
This bar sponsors a local youth football team, and we're both Illinois boys, born and raised, and,
And your sponsor? When was the last time you spoke to him?
It's a woman.
For his campaign, you think you might be able to draft a bill that he can sponsor?
Got a sponsor? No. It's been 14 years. I'm good.
Hey, Shelley, this is, it's me. Listen, I know I'm supposed to call you as my sponsor in case I have a,
Count.
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 Count. Count.
Climb in the back. I'm gonna need you to count for me. Count for me. Count for me.
I'm giving you to the count of 5. Count of 5. Count of 5. 5!
No!
No! Wait, hold
3!
Rocket, it's me for...
It's 500. You count it.
Yes, well, in fairness, my client is pregnant with triplets, so she should count as 4.
6th toe on their left foot.
Can you take off your shoes and count to 11?
Raven.
I see them. They're moving. I count 1, 2, 3. No, like there's 4.
I count 26. I got 28.
You handed me millions, right? It's not gonna count itself.
You don't just yell 3 when you say on 3. You actually have to count to 3.
Never heard that before.
I can count to 50. What's your favorite color? Mine?
Oh, this is gonna be hilarious. Count me in.
Awesome!
Naive.
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 I'm not naive. I'm not naive. I am naive, but I know who I married.
Why? When did you become so naive? So naive. So naive.
Okay.
You think I'm naive. I'm naive. I'm naive just because I don't share your twisted view of the world.
I know I was doing good.
I mean, you can't be that naive.
Naive? No. Arrogant.
The story ends the same, and in that story, I'm betrayed and duped and naive, and I don't want him to see me like that.
You're a lawyer. You should know better.
I'm not naive, Dom, okay?
Are you really that naive?
I'm beginning to think I am extremely naive.
Shocking. A naive kid, a great kid, who only wanted to serve his country.
A cartoon.
I'm not naive, okay? I know how cops can be. I never assumed we were universally loved.
They'll do it for you. You're naive to think they won't.
Once they're gone, you won't have to worry about Hakani.
Are you really so naive?
Me?
If you think this is about one guy pulling one trigger, you're as naive as your father.
I'm not naive, gentlemen. I know that charities are a ripe target. That's why our accounts are protected. Not even I have access to them.